There we go. What is up, guys and gals? Anybody who's watching this, if I ever decide to put this thing out or go through with this, I've just been kind of having some thoughts for a long time now, and I've just been, wanting to be very vocal and very just open about how I feel about kind of the world, how I feel about certain topics, how I feel just in a general sense. And I've been wanting to open up and kind of have a voice, wanting to let other people know that, maybe I could connect with them. Maybe that, they aren't alone in their thoughts. Maybe that they aren't, trapped, and that they aren't alone, and that they have, they have somebody that they can rely on as a voice of reason and a voice of, agreement. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling, but I've just been kind of wanting to make videos and make, a statement and make just content to share with people of all different types for a long time now, and I figured this was kind of the best way to start. So what this is, and what possibly future videos will be, is kind of like just kind of like a chat, just kind of like a long, like, mini podcast, like rant, just about how I kind of feel about a certain topic. I don't know if I'll have a schedule for these. I don't know if I'll ever really follow through with these, or maybe I'll just do them whenever I kind of feel the urge to talk about something that means something to me. I'm not too sure, but yeah, here's kind of like the test. Here's kind of like the first foray into me possibly creating something. And first, I just kind of wanted to talk about just being yourself. I know that sounds like that's insanely cheesy, but trying to be yourself in this world, trying to, kind of push against your opposition, trying to ascend above others and become, this supreme person, this just advanced being that I believe that a lot of people can do, and that a lot of people squander, and that a lot of people just kind of tap out of very early on. They see that it's difficult, or that it's, not cool to be different, to be smart. It's just kind of, let's be sheeple. Let's go with whatever the culture is. You just consume what others are consuming, think what others are thinking, and not actually ask any of our own questions, not actually stand up for ourselves and what we think in our heads. And, I just believe that it's extremely vital. If anybody on this planet needs to make it in this world, or wants to make it in this world, you absolutely have to believe in yourself and preach what you believe. Ask questions, just be open-minded and be different, because not everything, but most everything that you're taught, or that is showed to you, whether it be possibly by your parents, you might grow up in a Christian household, you might grow up in a very strict household, you might not have a household at all. And the way you grow up affects how you learn. The media affects you in a lot of ways. It's such a negative and toxic space, and the media and Hollywood and just like general culture is so dead set on suppressing people's minds, is so dead set on just kind of pushing people down, and just saying, if you want to be someone in this world, you got to believe what we believe. You got to say the things that we say, or else we're going to shove you down, or else we're going to shut you down, and we're going to make sure that you can't succeed in life. And that is just so untrue of, how, that is just completely untrue of how things work. People in this world who do speak up, who do, preach the things that they believe, and they're not afraid to come out of their shell to kind of show their personality to the world and to stand up for what they believe in and what is also against what the media and what culture tries to tell you. There are not too many examples that I can think of right now, but a few recent ones that I think everybody here will know is, I'm sure the people watching this know who XXXTentacion is. He's my personal favorite artist of all time, and somebody that I've looked up to for a very, very long time. And he was somebody that stood up for what he believed in. He spoke truth. He had a message that he wanted to share with people. And what happened throughout his entire career? The media tried canceling him. They tried slandering his name, throwing baseless and some, baseful accusations towards him, just trying anything they possibly could to shove him into the ground and to not let him succeed in a world where, liberal media and where people just want you to believe that everything sucks, everything is offensive, and you are not allowed to speak on anything that is meaningful to you. And he, throughout his entire career, even in his earlier, younger days, you can look at, his elevator interview or his No Jumper interview, where even at his young age, he's still, he was kind of just like a Florida kid from the hood, and he didn't really advance himself yet. But even in those, you could still see that he was a deep-minded individual, and he wanted to say something. He always had something to say, and he always went against what everybody else said. He always went for what he believed in and what he thought in his own mind and what he thought to be correct. And, that is so vital, because you look at him, he has, still to this day, almost 2 years after he's passed, one of the strongest fan bases on the planet, one of the most dedicated, one of the most loyal fan bases on the planet, and a fan base that not only he loved, but that loves him because of the things that he talked about, not just his music, not just any of that, but the things that he talked about, the things that he wanted to express, the messages that he wanted to portray, and the inspiration that he tried to give to other people to speak up, to talk about things that they like, to talk about, to open up debates, to open up conversations, and to not have your voice silenced by everybody around you, because that's all you will face in your entire life from beginning to end, is people trying to shut you down. And it's key that you follow in not just his footsteps, but others' footsteps in spreading your own message, telling your friends, telling your loved ones how you feel, what you think about the world, and, go against what everybody else tells you. Look up facts. Look up, just do some Google research. There are so many people out there that I know personally that will look at something. They'll look at something for 5 seconds. They'll see whatever the main article they get it from, which is generally false, and they'll just believe, what that thing says, what their friends say, because that's what's cool. That's what everybody is supposed to believe. When in reality, if you just do a little bit of research, if you actually look into things more, you'll see that there is a lot of things wrong with pretty much everything that everybody tries to tell you in life. There's a lot of things wrong with, the way the world works and the way they try to tell you that the way the world works. people live their lives in this sense of just ignorance is bliss. If I don't know what's going on, I don't care. If somebody tells me what's going on, I'm just going to believe them because I don't have the mental capacity, I don't have the energy to actually think. I don't have the energy to be my own person, to be somebody that isn't a part of the crowd. People just don't have that. And I don't personally understand why anybody would want to kind of not strive for that, not strive for the knowledge, and to not strive for, creating, to not strive for evolving as a person and knowing more, being smarter. When you see somebody like a friend that's saying something that you know to be wrong, you correct them. Or you at least try to correct them. Some people are going to be ignorant and arrogant regardless, and no matter what you tell them, no matter how much you try and change their mind, they're just not going to listen, because people are stubborn and people just want to believe the first thing they see. And so with that said, moving on to, other examples, Kanye West, the man, he in his early days was, as I was just mentioning, arrogant, rude. He was self-centered, and he kind of stole the show. That's why a lot of people fell in love with him, because he always stole the show. He always had this pompous attitude towards him, and that kind of attracted a lot of people. And later down the road, he started to open up his eyes a bit more. He started to preach the things that he actually believed. He started to support the things that he actually supported. He started to help in places that needed helping, that he felt that meant something to him. Places where he struggled in his own life. He started talking about his support for Donald Trump. He started talking about openly changing into a born-again Christian, which I don't really agree with, but that's besides the point. He started supporting Donald Trump. Let's talk about that for a few seconds. In a world of Hollywood and in a world of liberal culture, it's, whether you're a liberal or conservative, it's impossible to disagree that the media and Hollywood and culture in general is dominated by liberals. That's just a fact. Conservatives are often called the silent majority, because while it seems like they don't really exist, or that they only have kind of one voice, or that they are just small, in reality there's a lot more. In fact, there's either an equal or more conservatives in this world than there are liberals. But media and just the arts in general are, it's called liberal arts in college for a reason. It is dominated by that force, and Kanye lived in that space for a long, long, long time. So throughout his career, he was always told by everyone else, hey, you have to believe this. As a black man, as a rich black man in Hollywood, you have to believe this way, or else you aren't accepted as a part of our group. You're not accepted as a part of who we are. You're not a part of the cool club, and if you say anything else, we're going to try and ruin you. And he didn't like that. And so what he did was he went all out. He started wearing the hat. He started going around showing his support, talking about possibly even running himself for president later down the line. He went all out with his support, with his voice. Some people said that's, his bipolar ramblings. Some people said that he's just a crazy person and that he didn't know what he was talking about at the time. But in my opinion, I think it was clarity. He realized that, I live in a world where people try and tell me what to say, what to think, what to do all the time. I don't want to stand for that. I want to stand for people supporting freedom, people supporting knowledge, freedom of thinking, freedom of just seeking out the truth. And that's exactly what he did. He started showing his support, started talking more about politics, getting more involved into politics than he ever was before. And what did the media, what did Hollywood, what did culture in general try and do? They tried to cancel him. They tried to shove him into the ground, call him a crazy person, just say it's some psychotic ramblings, try and say that he doesn't know what he's talking about and that he is just insane. And then you look, and through everything, they try and just cancel him over and over and over again, and every single time, he comes out on top. He comes out on top. He gets more attention, more fame, more wealth, more love from everybody. And the liberal media and the culture in general is just sitting there dumbfounded. They're like, well, we tried everything in the book. We tried everything in the book. Now what? And now Kanye, in just such a short time, I mean, he's been building this forever, but especially now that he has his Yeezy, designer brand, which is one of the most successful and popular designer brands out right now. He's fully investing into that. He's, just creating, and he is just evolving as a person and evolving as a brand, himself as a brand. And he's a billionaire now. He just turned a billionaire last week, officially. And he is now at a point where you can't stop him, no matter what you try and do. He is so high up that no matter what these people try and do to continue to cancel him, it will never work. It will never work. And that is what people like you and me should strive for. That's what we should strive for, is to ascend to the top, to speak our own truth, and to become and to live in a place where we can't fall no matter what. We can't be shut down no matter what they try and do. Everybody should strive for that. Everybody should have their own voice and have their own opinion and become a success, because it's in a lot of people. It's in a lot of people. If you have the motivation, if you have the thought, if you have a goal and you want to work towards it, you can do it. It's not a question of, am I lucky enough? Luck has nothing to do with anything. If you want to be a famous rapper, go be a famous rapper. You can do it. If you have the talent, if you have the dedication, you can do it. It's people that stick to SoundCloud, people that just sit there, make a song every so often, don't really care too much, and don't really have any other passion other than just, how many plays am I getting? How many follows am I getting? How many likes am I getting? People like that who aren't really putting in much effort into just the pure art and the dedication aren't going to go anywhere. You are just going to stay at the bottom because you don't have the capacity to shine. You don't have the capacity to ascend. That's everybody needs to just stick to what they believe in and just roll with it, and it'll work eventually. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I believe in something. I have goals. I have aspirations. I have a drive to do something with my life. And now I'm trying to work on it. And I believe that with enough hard work, with enough dedication, with enough just effort and care and thought put into what I want to do, what I want to create, I will do something with it. I will make it. I will be that voice that people can look up to. I will be that person that people say like, oh, hey, here's that guy who says the things that I always have wanted to say, but couldn't say myself. I want to be that for people. I want people to know that they are not alone in this world, in their brains. People are not alone in the way they think. A lot of people shut out how they feel because that's just what's cool. It's cool to hide your emotions, cool to hide your, anti-culture thoughts. It's cool to just not be yourself. And I want people to know that it is okay to be yourself. It is okay to speak your truth. Speak the truth. Your truth is not the real truth. The truth. say what's right. Say what you believe in. Don't just go along with whatever, anybody else tells you to do. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He's my other example. This man, through everything, he smoked weed on Joe Rogan. His stocks went down billions and billions and billions of dollars. And you know what he did? He laughed it off and bounced right back up, higher than he was before that. He didn't care. He took a risk. He just kind of showed that he doesn't care what, the agenda is trying to tell you, that, oh, weed is bad. Weed no good. If you smoke, you die. You get canceled. You are irrelevant. You are a lesser human being because of it. Like, he just did a huge middle finger to that and just did not care, went for it because he was interested, and he took that jump. And to a lot of people, that's brave, because in especially the business world where he's inhabiting, that is not cool. Not cool at all to smoke weed or to, be engaged in any provocative or vulgar practices. It's just not cool for them. And what did they do? They tried to cancel him. People dumped out their stocks. People tried to slander his name, slander his businesses, try and say that they're failing, try and say that Tesla and SpaceX are failing businesses, and try and say that they are not good ideas to invest in and to believe in, and that he is going to tank. They tried to have that happen. And you know what happened? For a couple days it worked. It went down billions and billions and billions of dollars. But he bounced right back up, higher than ever, and now he is at a place higher than he was before, significantly higher. And just a couple years later, or just 1 year later, there was that incident of him calling the diver a pedophile or whatever. Just some random comment he made as like a joke. He didn't seriously believe. Or well, it was a comment that he just kind of felt at the moment, which was completely baseless and probably isn't true. But he said it anyways because that was on his mind. Regardless of whether he was wrong or right, he still said what was on his mind at the time. And that's admirable. That's admirable because he did not care. He did not care that he knew he would get backlash for that. He knew he would get hate for that because what he said probably wasn't true. It was just what he was feeling. And what happened? They tried to defame him. They tried to slander his name. They tried to call him, a lesser human being. They tried to destroy his company yet again. That didn't work at all. They tried to cancel him. That didn't work at all. He just kept going up and up and up and up and doing more things for the world, doing more things for science, doing more things that mattered to him in this planet. And now, even just recently, he's speaking up about the situation that's going on in our world right now. I'm sure everybody knows. He spoke up. He started talking about how he believes that the people should be free. He believes that, people need to go back to work. People need to go do their thing. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I don't know if I do agree with that. I don't know where I stand on that right now, because this is a very dangerous and very scary time we're living in. I think we can all agree on that. And, things are not especially safe the way things are, but he brought to light the fact that the U.S. government and media in general and just the world has been lying about what's going on. The U.S. government was inflating the death numbers of this situation. China has been lying for weeks about how many people got it. It's the numbers and the statistics and the things that you need to believe and the symptoms and XYZ is all just a load of garbage. Everything that you were told about this whole crazy, unique situation that we're all living in, and I guarantee that our kids and our grandkids won't even live in. This situation is unique, and all of it is lies. I don't want to get too much into that. Maybe I'll save that for another video, and maybe I just won't talk about it too much at all, but it's not really the main point. He brought that to light. He brought the situation to light. And what happened? His stocks went down $14 billion in one day. And you know what's going to happen in just a couple days, maybe some weeks? It's going to go right back up. People are going to, realize that, hey, this man actually kind of knows what he's talking about. This man he's got something about him. He has so many loyal fans, so many people that believe in him and that aspire to be like him, that he can't fail. He can't fail anymore. He wastes millions of dollars on rockets that end up exploding on launch. He doesn't care. He wants to do that so that he can pursue science and perfect his craft, perfect the things that he believes in, and perfect the things that he wants to do with his life. And he's a multi-billionaire. He's worth like $34 billion as of whenever I'm saying this. He's a giant, and he's unstoppable, and he's inspirational, and he's funny, and he is just somebody that a lot of people look up to. And, with these 3 examples, I kind of hope that I shed some light on what I'm kind of trying to say about this whole, this whole rant, is that you need to always ask questions, always preach what you believe in, always seek out the truth. That's the number one thing about this video. Don't trust anything that you are told. Always, if you are told something and they say it's fact, treat it as fiction. Go Google whatever thing you're trying to learn more about and actually learn the truth. Actually learn what is reality, because reality is oftentimes significantly different than what the media and what culture and what the liberal agenda tries to perpetrate. And when I say liberal agenda, I kind of mean that as a loose term. What side of the coin you flip on, or if you don't have a side at all, that's up to you. That's perfectly okay. That's just kind of how I've labeled it. I'll just call it agenda for now. Just the agenda, because there is one. There's an overarching agenda that is pushed onto people nowadays. People try and tell you complete inaccuracies. There are groups dedicated to spreading lies and to pushing out hatred based on nothing. And you need, as a person, as a human being, as a soul, as a creative thought, you need to step up. You need to just, like I said, look for the truth. Just constantly ask questions and look for the truth. And when you find the truth, let other people know what the truth is. Let other people know that, this is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. This is not correct, what these people are trying to tell you. And people will follow. People will understand you, and people will come towards you. It's just a fact of life. Like my 3 examples, these people spoke out on the truth. They said what they believed in, and look, these 3 people have some of the most dedicated fan bases and most dedicated followers ever. Just ever. In all of history, these people, in just such a short time span, because they were able to speak out and because they were able to say what they wanted to say, and they were able to go against what everyone else was telling them, they were able to thrive and to succeed and to have people that agree with them, because there are a lot of people out there that agree with the things they're saying, and I hope the things that I'm saying, I hope that this video is inspiring to you, or maybe you just can maybe kind of get motivated or kind of just agree with what I'm saying, because that's all I really kind of strive for, is that, people see the truth. People just open their mindset. Open your mind and look deeper into everything. You know, don't go full conspiracy theory and just start questioning everything and, you know, adding this on top of that and this on top of that and this on top of that till the point where it just becomes ridiculous. You know, there is a truth to everything, and if you constantly just seek out more and more and more and more information, the truth is going to become hazy. It's going to be in there somewhere, but it's going to be hazy and it's going to become lost, and you're going to end up not believing anything, and you're just going to make yourself look like, you know, the same people that you're trying to avoid, the same people you're trying to not be like, by just spreading lies, by just believing misinformation. Don't do that. Just, you know, once you take a look at a lot of sources or all the sources and you see the patterns and you just see that there is one definitive answer, believe in it, because that is the truth. You know, if you go on just CNN, or if you just go on Twitter, God, this cesspool of hatred and disgustingness and misinformation and lies that Twitter is, you go on Twitter for 5 minutes and you'll just only see lies. You'll just only see hatred. That place is just awful. I do not recommend anybody use that platform whatsoever for any sort of news, for any sort of information, because there is not a god dang thing that is said on Twitter that is correct. From both sides. People just, I feel like Twitter is just where these people that we're trying to avoid, whether you are a liberal, conservative, XYZ, whether you're a freaking communist or a fascist or a Nazi, this is the place where people just spread lies and hatred. That is it. That's what Twitter is. There is no friendliness. There is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of truth on that place. If you do speak the truth, you'll get banned. You'll get banned off Twitter because of the agenda, because of the fact that you are not allowed to speak any modicum of truth whatsoever. And yeah, side rant there. Yeah, just don't go on Twitter. But, you know, do go other places. Do go to YouTube or to Twitch or to Reddit or just wherever you feel that you can get your message out, wherever you feel that you can, you know, spread the truth to people, and they will see and they will listen and they will follow and they will do the same. They will see, they will listen, they will follow, they will learn, they will do the same thing that you are doing, which is preaching, which is spreading the truth, which is being your own person and going against what other people try and say. And I don't know if I really have much more. This is kind of just like a first go at it. I want this to be raw, unedited, just kind of my quick thoughts of a particular, you know, situation. And yeah, I think that's about it. Just please seek out the truth. Don't believe the deception that everyone is trying to force you into. Don't believe that, you know, don't believe the first thing you hear. Don't just, you know, don't just hear something on the news, or don't just hear something from your parents and go, got it. No. Go ask questions. Go talk to other people. See what they say about it. Go, now that we live in this age of technology, go to Google. I'm sure 99% of the people watching this, I know everybody watching this has probably a smartphone or a computer or a tablet. Just use Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine that you decide to use. Go use it and search up whatever this person told you and find out what the real truth is, what the reality of that situation is, because 99% of the time, what this person is telling you, maybe they're not intentionally doing it. You know, maybe they're also a victim of the culture, and maybe they're just telling you what everyone else believes. You know, they might not have the bad intentions that a lot of people do, especially in the media and in, you know, Hollywood. They might not have those bad intentions that so many of those people do, but still question what they say, because, you know, oftentimes it will just be wrong. And you will be able to find that truth. And when you find it, you will be enlightened. You will become smarter, and you will just become kind of a more ascended being. And you'll just automatically be above the rest. And yeah, that's kind of what I've just been meaning to get off my shoulders for a bit. Just kind of been meaning to spread out and let people know that, you know, if I do continue to do this, if I do continue to do these like mini podcast rant things, I want people to know that I will always try and speak the facts. I will always try and do what's right and let people know that they're not alone. Nobody in this world is alone, and you can always find somebody to rely on to say the things that you might not necessarily know how to say or might not want to say because you don't have the bravery. I mean, I'm not saying I'm brave, but just kind of know that you have a voice and that other people share that voice, and that, you know, what other people try and tell you is not necessarily the truth. And with that said, I think that kind of wraps up my thoughts. I don't know, you know, let me know in the comments, or let me just personally, if you want to message me. I'm sure a lot of my friends are probably going to be seeing this, are definitely going to be seeing this. I want kind of everyone to see it just as like a first go to maybe see if, you know, this is something that they want to watch. This is something that other people might want to watch and think is unique or interesting. And yeah, without too much else to say, I kind of bid you guys farewell, and I hope you stay safe, and I hope you stay healthy, and I hope you learn a lot, especially now that we're stuck at home. You have so much time and so much opportunity to go and seek out the truth, to go and do what you want, and to go and pursue your passions and pursue your dreams, and, you know, be your own person. You have so much time to do that now, and there's a demand for it. There's such a huge demand because people are stuck at home. People don't really have much else to do. They don't have jobs to go to. They don't have, you know, or maybe they do have jobs, but they're at home. You know, people have a lot more time on their hands now to seek out content and to consume content and to create content. So just anybody that watches that, if you have something that you want to do, that you want to create, that you want to put out to the public, or that you want to make or build or write or sing or speak on, if you have something like that, just go for it, like I'm doing right now. Just go for it. You know, if you have dedication in what you're doing, if you have that drive to actually make it, you will. You just will. And I believe that anybody that has kind of an open mind can achieve greatness. And yeah, there you go. That's kind of everything that I wanted to say for this video. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do future videos or not, but here's the first one. Here's the test. Here's just kind of seeing what people might like, what people, you know, might like for the future, what people might like to see out of me. And yeah, there we go. All right. I don't really have a proper way to end this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't. So, bye.